Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another selected chapters video. And I think this video is going to be in two parts because YouTube has a limitation of up to 15 minutes for new channels. So please subscribe and like this video so that I can record longer videos as I do on my Croatian channel, which I record videos for longer than I think maybe 8 years or something like this. So today I'm going to react on David Shapiro's video titled How I Would Become a Trillionaire with Artificial Intelligence and Robots. So he's talking about future world of abundance, or how he frames it, hyperabundance, where we use artificial superintelligence to do all sorts of stuff, and we don't need to work. We're just going to have everything that we desire without any work whatsoever. So his title of the presentation in this video is Post-Labor Trillionaire: How I Would Become a Trillionaire with Using Artificial Superintelligence. Okay, so I will link the video in the description. So he's talking about the future economy of hyperabundance where no one will have to work. But I want to make an important distinction here. There is a big difference between future where you decide that you don't want to work because you have everything you need because, I don't know, replicators are doing whatever they are doing. So you just wish for something and you will get this. I will come to this, wish for something and you will get this. This is very important also. And there is also a difference between you don't have anything to work because you're obsolete in the sense that there is no work for you on the planet because hyper intelligence or super intelligence is much better than you in any job. So you are becoming obsolete. So there is a big difference between you choosing not to work and you are not able to work because you are completely obsolete. So this is a crucial difference. Okay, so we just need to keep this in mind when we talk about utopia of the future and so on. So David Shapiro is talking about this in his own way because he's a futuristic guy. He always look positive on these things and he's optimistic about artificial intelligence. But also in this video, this is a thought experiment on his part. So I will critique this thought experiment as I see it. So I think maybe it's a little bit naive in my view, but this is not necessarily negative. It's a good that we have people that are naive in this sense. Naivety is not a bad thing in this context. But when I say everything I prepared here, then you will see why I'm saying that this is maybe naive way of looking at the future. Okay, but keep in mind that this is what I'm saying is just meant to be a warning not to go astray, so that we keep in mind all the important things if we want to come to this world of hyperabundance that David Shapiro mentions. Okay, so if everything turns out the opposite of what I'm saying, and we really live in utopia of the future, then all the better. It doesn't matter that I made a mistake here, I'm just a random guy on the internet. But if we do not talk about this in a way that I'm going to talk about in this video, and we end up in dystopia, then I didn't do my job. I didn't do my duty. So this is how I look at this thing. Okay, so now let's see what David Shapiro said in this presentation. I will not go in details. You can look for yourself on his YouTube channel. So he's starting with phase one of this transformation from, I don't know, having no money to becoming a trillionaire. And he says that he's starting with $5 US, and he's talking about some microtask, information asymmetry, exponential scaling, and so on, risk diversification. But basically, he says that he's giving $5 to some artificial intelligence system, and then the system is doing whatever the system is doing, and then he's getting his dividends back, and it's multiplying and so on. So phase one is just giving $5 to the artificial intelligence. Phase two is humanoid acquisition, and he's talking about $50,000 to $2 million in a time frame of 7 to 18 months. And then he's talking about universal robots, craft premium, sales pipeline, scaling timeline. I'm not sure what this means. Even when he's explaining, I'm not sure that I can understand what he's trying to say with all these little elements, because in my mind, this is not possible. So you would have to somehow, even with all the super intelligence, be the only man on earth doing this without any interference from the other people. So he should be the only one doing this. So I don't think this is even feasible. If he's talking about this, anybody could try this, and it's not possible that everybody is going to win. Like just giving $5 to artificial intelligence and everybody's getting $50,000 back. You see, the basic math doesn't add up, so it makes no sense. Then phase 3, retail revolution, 2 million to 50 million. This is the range of the earnings. Time frame 19 months to 36 months. Then he's talking about labor economics, but there is no labor economics in this sense when artificial superintelligence is taking everything. But he's talking about utilizing robots to reduce staffing costs drastically. Okay, understand, this is the phase that we are going through, and somehow you're going to replace humans with robots, and then robots are going to do everything much more efficiently. But as I'm saying this, a few times already popped in my mind, for who are these robots going to produce all this stuff? And who is going to buy with which money? With what money when there is no money? But I will come to this. This is a very crucial concept, number 2, that people need to understand. Phase 4, energy revolution, up to 500 millions, up to 60 months. Phase 5, AI data centers, up to $5 billion, and time frame is 84 months. Some energy integration, greenfield construction, and so on and so on. Phase 6, fusion expansion, so global deployment of, fusion power plants and so on, market disruption, vertical benefits, and so on. So it's $100 billion, and the time frame is 120 months, which is 10 years. Yeah. Phase 7, celestial mining, so up to $1 trillion and up to 180 months. So I would calculate that this is 15 years, if I'm correct, but it doesn't matter. Let's say that it's 15 years. And then he's talking about fleet development, target selection, production timeline, supply impact, and so on, but something in space. And then the last phase is interstellar empire with $1 trillion. But when I hear interstellar empire and 1 trillion, it just doesn't add up. 1 trillion is a drop in the sea when we're talking about interstellar empire. Today, $1 trillion in world's economy is not big deal, but in galactic empire or interstellar empire, whatever that means, this is nothing. So the relations are not good. And this is up to 240 months, which is 20 years as I calculate. So let me just calculate briefly. So 1 year has 12 months. Yeah, it's 20 years. And he's talking about system-wide presence, resource monopoly, control vast majority of the world minerals, and so on and so on. But okay, so you get the picture. So there's 8 phases. You're coming with $5, and then after 20 years, you're ruler of the galactic empire. But this is only one person. Okay, so this is, let's say, a thought experiment with very naive perspective of how economics work, what money is, what debt is, why we have money and debt, and so on. Why some people are able to build empires and the other people are not able to cut grass. They're not competent enough. So this is also a big issue, because as jobs become more complex, fewer and fewer people are going to be able to work or do these jobs. This is also important. So we are inevitably going to some form of post-labor economics, but this is a different story than what David Shapiro is presenting here. But this is a topic for another video. So now let me talk about important concepts that enable us to understand that this is not possible, what he's talking about. And to understand this, it's crucial to understand what money is, what economy is, and what debt is. But these terms, I'm not going to go very deep into them. I recorded videos on every of these topics, but only in my native language. I will going to have to change this to English so that I can post it here also. But let's start with what is economy, just in short. So economics or economy is complicated or even boring if we want to explain every sparrow fall. This is Thomas Sowell saying in his books. So like GDP, inflation, interest rates, exchange rates mechanisms, central national banking, macro and microeconomics, etc. And God forbid, centralized management of the economy. We saw how it works or how it doesn't work, but somehow people think that it will work only if they have the power. But it will not work because the principle is such that it's not possible for central planning of economy to work where you have so many diverse people with diverse wishes and needs and capabilities and so on. So this is crucial. Maybe in some future world of dystopia, in my mind, yeah, we can implement this, and then people are going to get only what they deserve by my criteria, for example, if I'm the ruler. Okay, so, but economy is very simple or natural if we stick to some principles. And I would just say what principles are without any elaboration. So principles are, resources are limited and human desires are unlimited. Okay. So we talk about scarcity and price mechanism today. So this is the mechanism that controls our irrational desires for everything that we want. We cannot afford because we have to work, we have to invest our own time for this and so on. In reality, every decision we make is a trade-off and it has consequences. Okay, so this is important principle. Third principle, there is no free lunch. Fourth principle, people respond to incentives. Okay, so this is important principle. There are always hidden costs and missed opportunities. Also important principles. So in short, economy studies the use of scarce resources that have alternate uses. So this is what Thomas Sowell says in his book. Okay, now what money is? Money, first of all, is a concept. So this is very important to understand. Most people do not understand this. Money is a concept in which we humans believe. We humans believe in money as a concept, and this concept, because it needs to be materialized, is represented by paper bills or coins or something like this that are issued by the government. But also government is another concept that we people accept and believe in, and it's also represented by some buildings and so on. So this is all, let's say, a hierarchy of concepts that we must believe in order to, for these concepts to have effect in the real world. This is very important, crucial understanding of these topics is necessary if you want to talk about civilization and development of civilization and so on. So this is very crucial. Okay, so money is a concept materialized in some paper bills and coins and so on. So in this sense is a tool or medium or catalyst for the efficient way of exchanging diverse values created by humans. When we say diverse values, and when I say it, I mean products, goods, services, etc. And the application of money is visible in the process of exchanging or trading a certain set of time, skill, knowledge, and resources for another set of the same time, skills, knowledge, and resources, which would otherwise not be practically exchangeable except in very specific circumstances. This is important for me to elaborate a little bit. So, for example, if I'm a sheep herder and have 100 sheep and I want to buy a mobile phone, I need to find a store that sells mobile phones and accept sheep as compensation. You see that this is not practical. So the concept of money is somehow tied to any combination of time, skill, knowledge, and so on, or resources in certain relation, so that me as a sheep herder can use a $100 bill to go to a doctor and pay him to examine my eye, or go to a phone store and buy a mobile phone. And the other guy will accept this $100 because he can buy with them any other combination of skills, knowledge, resources that are represented by certain products or services, like go to a restaurant and so on. So this is very important to understand. Most people do not think about money in this way, but this is fundamental. So this is fundamental. Okay, so I gave an example of a $100 bill, which costs about 0.2 cents to produce, maybe, I'm not sure, which can be exchanged for any combination of knowledge, time, skill, resources, and so on. But in order for money to work its magic, everyone must believe that money is necessary. Okay, this is crucial.